Funding for This Is Nashville comes from you, our listeners, and Amazon, proud sponsor of WPLN's daily show, This Is Nashville, engaging our differences so we can discover our unity. More on Amazon's community work at aboutamazon.com.
I'm Khalil Ekolona, and this is Nashville. Trade schools provide training and a pathway to a career in the trades. The Tennessee College of Applied Technology, or TCAT, has 24 campuses across the state. They offer over 20 programs, but these programs are a far cry from high school shop class. Courses like advanced manufacturing technology, cosmetology, computer-aided design tech, industrial maintenance, practical nursing, even electricity, commercial and domestic, and welding are among their offerings. So what's it like to attend class at TCAT? What's it like to work there? Joining us to share more are Kevin Harrison, the vice president of TCAT Nashville, who's been with TCAT for more than 16 years, and Jerry Campbell, a co-op HVAC student in his fourth term, at TCAT. And Jerry is joining us from the job site he is working on, so we're thankful and grateful to have him to take time to call in. Gentlemen, welcome to This Is Nashville.
Good to be here.
Good to be here, boss.
Really good to have you both with us. Now, Jerry, I know you're on work and everything, but we don't want to get you in trouble while you're on the clock. So let me start with you. Sir. You're calling us from this job site. Can you tell us, what you're doing today and how's it going?
Well, today's been pretty good, actually. I've been working on ice machines all day. So I had an ice machine this morning at a Red Robin out in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Now I'm in Smyrna, Tennessee, working on another a Wendy's ice machine right now. So I got it going. I got it, it's timing for an hour. Got to go through a cleaning process, whatever the case may be. So I buy a little time to do this.
Yeah, fast food lovers are in love with you right now. Okay, so
yes, sir.
For people who don't know, what exactly is HVAC? Because most people call it HVAC. Is that the same thing?
Yes, sir. It is the same thing. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. It's also /R. It's becoming a new thing, too, with the refrigeration. Refrigeration goes into maybe like your reach-in freezers and your walk-in freezers and walk-in coolers and stuff of that nature. So that's what HVAC is. It's a combination of ventilation, heating and air, refrigeration. HVAC is a part of everything.
All right. Thank you for clarifying that. All right, Kevin, now TCAT offers many different programs to folks, who want to get technical training for jobs. Tell me, what are some of the most popular programs you guys have right now?
Well, it'd be really hard to say because right now we're full.
Wow.
Every program that we have, in fact, I walked around before I came here to every program to make sure we just started our new term. Have we lost anybody? Everybody's still there. So I went through 3 classes on the lower side of campus, and we're all over 50 students per class in auto, construction, and our diesel program. So everything is really good. It really just depends on the skill set. I've always answered that question. Whatever your skill set is, that's the best program on campus.
Okay.
But we're very successful in everything we do, from welding to HVAC, mentioned automotive, collision, IT, cosmetology, you name it, we've got it, and we're at just about at capacity right now in every single program.
Now, is that a new phenomenon, being at capacity, or have the numbers been growing over the years?
I believe over the years they've grown. It's a pretty standard, especially in the fall, because that's when more people think about going to college, certainly high school graduates. So we see that influx a little larger in the fall term, but it's not necessarily a new phenomenon or something that's changed. Are we growing? Yes. Have we increased our size? Yes, but we've also increased our size by adding space, adding an additional instructor so we can take more students.
What type of income can students who go through the program expect to make?
As a general rule, it will range between $20 to $25 an hour, depending on the program and where they go to work. But that's between $40,000 to $50,000 a year. For someone coming straight out of high school and to do it less than 20 months with zero student debt when they leave, that's a lot of money. For people that's maybe retooling, maybe that 20 is not as exciting, but that 25 is. But I would say most of our programs, after they complete the program, they're really in the $25 an hour range. And 5 years after that, the amount of money they can make goes up a lot.
So $25 an hour is not bad as a starting salary, particularly when you're younger at a high school. Now, Jerry, I understand you're 20 years old. That's a pretty decent salary for someone that age. Did you know these numbers for potential salary when you applied?
Yeah, I did, because before coming to TCAT, I was already doing HVAC. So I had already kind of had a ballpark or a good perspective on the amount, the income that could, come in from doing HVAC. So that number it's a great number for sure. But I mean, HVAC is a field where you can make loads of money if you're just good at what you're doing.
Okay, now clarify that for anybody who may be listening who's around your age. It's a nice salary, but you're working hard. This is not easy work, is it?
No, sir. It's not easy work at all, and it's a lot of knowledge that goes into this. You have to be good at what you're doing to be able to be successful in this. I mean, that's not really in anything, but in specifically this, because I mean, you can hurt yourself. You can hurt yourself or somebody else real quick if you don't know what you're doing. So the salary, it goes hand in hand with the hard work. Coming out of hospital, coming out of trade school, it's a good pay. It's a good start. But once you do it a few years and build that confidence up, I always tell everybody, man, you just build the confidence up and everything else will follow. So once that confidence builds up and you feel like, you can get out there and take care of everything that's put forth, in front of you, or whatever the case may be, the sky's the limit with the income. Now,
you said before that you had experience in HVAC. Tell me, how did you find your way to TCAT to do this work?
I was going to university. I was going to Tennessee State University at first, but I had been doing HVAC 2 years prior to that, family-owned business. So I had already been kind of around HVAC for a little while. I took a small pivot a big pivot actually, from my university and just ended up at TCAT. I wanted to come and get my HVAC credentials, license, and everything that I needed so that I could be out here doing what I love to do.
All right, Kevin, you said that the skill set is where you encourage people to kind of specialize in. But talk to me about experience. What kind of experience do students need to come in to TCAT with?
Over the years that I've seen it, I've seen people come in with zero experience. They've never touched HVAC, never welded, never turned a wrench of any kind. They've never drew blood. They've never cut a strand of hair. But it's really about the already built-in traits that they have and the skill set that is there with them, and it's finding that best fit for them. And we make sure that they go around and they talk, to our program instructors, visit it, get a feel, research it, make sure that's what's best for them. Because if they're going to do it for a career, the more they enjoy it, the better they're going to be at it. Jerry's obviously an exceptional case that he had some experience before he come in, and we do have a lot of students that have that experience that are upgrading their skills. But we have people that have never seen any of the equipment before, but it's just a trait that they have that makes them good. One program in particular, our machine tool technology program, that gets into tool and die, which gets into manufacturing, which is huge here in Middle Tennessee and in Davidson County. Well, a person that is very detail-oriented, they're OCD, and quite honestly, it's one odd trait, but they seem to all have it. They don't like people touching their stuff.
Okay.
I have been to different TCATs. I go into that program and I ask them all the same questions, and just to get a personality profile, really. And I said, do you like people touching their stuff? No. They don't like people touching their tools. They don't like people touching what they're producing. They like that left alone. And I found time and time again, the people that are successful, they have those same traits. Jerry with HVAC and anyone that goes in it, it's a diagnostic. Okay. So, hey, how does this work and how do I keep it working? So if a little kid was taking apart remotes and destroying everything, every toy they had, within them is that innate ability, hey, why does this work? Okay. Now, not me. I just destroyed stuff. But
me too.
But that's what they did. And Jerry has that ability, and it was already within him. And with his customer service skills and the things that he has, the ability to communicate with people, that only makes him more valuable in what he does when he's going in, to a customer, whether it's residential or commercial, to help them. So he's got a lot of skill set that he has.
Now, Jerry, it sounds like you really, really love this job. What gets you up in the morning out of bed to do what you're doing?
Man, it's as cliche as this may sound, just to know it's something broke or know it's something that needs to be fixed, and they calling me, specifically, and me coming out there and actually fixing it. I mean, it's pretty simple, but it's what keeps me going in the morning. When I wake up, I know it's something out here in Nashville, Smyrna, Murfreesboro, somewhere around me, that it's something right now broke, HVAC related, or construction related, or something that a skill trade that I'm good at is broke, and I can go and change and make somebody happy today, and put a smile on somebody's face by fixing something that I know how to fix.
I'm sure you brought a lot of smiles during the heat wave last month. I'm sure you brought a lot of smiles.
2 weeks ago, when it was 100 degrees outside.
That's right. We all owe you a big debt. If you're just tuning in, this is Nashville, and I'm your host, Khalil Ekolona. We're talking this hour about the Tennessee College of Applied Technology with Kevin Harrison and Jerry Campbell. All right, Kevin, who are the type of folks who are applying to TCAT?
We see people certainly straight out of high school with Tennessee Promise that has been available to high school students for quite some time now. They can come tuition free. That's a big deal. So we've seen an influx of students that are 18 years old, starting straight out of high school and coming in, which is a great thing. Let's get them started early, get them into a career field so they can go out and be successful. That was Governor Haslam's goal. And Drive to 55. Governor Lee is kept that same mission, and we see that. But then we see people like Jerry who tried one thing in life and said, you know what, let me detour over here and let me see if this fits me best. We see people that are coming back and retooling. So I've seen them from 18 years old to 65 years old. Mm-hmm. I'd say our general range is somewhere between, probably the average is between 20 to 24 years of age.
Okay.
But you see some older, more experienced adults with the 18-year-old adult that is in the same classroom. So we see a variety, and it really depends on the program. Our nursing program, I'd say the average age is a little older than that, because I noticed that they are just a little older and more mature, settled more a little bit in life, and maybe they're making a career change or upgrading their skills from one to another, and we see that a lot.
Now, I know that Tennessee Promise says free tuition. What about those who don't qualify for that? How much does it cost?
Well, there's even something better for them. It's called Tennessee Reconnect. So that covers a resident of the state of Tennessee that's lived here for at least the last year, established their residency. They've never attended a TCAT before. They're not in default on a student loan, and they're 23 years and older. They can get tuition free as well.
Wow.
Those are not loans. We don't even participate in a student loan program. So when our students leave, they owe nothing.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. Those programs of Promise and Reconnect do not pay for books. A lot of our students are Pell eligible, which is through the FAFSA, and the FAFSA is part of both of those processes. But they leave with no student debt, which puts individuals like Jerry and all of our other students at an advantage. Mm-hmm. When they leave, that money they get that they're earning is plus money, because then they're not having to worry about starting to pay on a student loan that may drag for many years of trying to pay that off.
Now, Jerry, has tuition been manageable for you?
Absolutely. I didn't have any issues with tuition.
That's pretty cool. All right. So I want to talk about partnerships with high schools. TCAT engages in that, right, Kevin?
Yes, sir. Here with Metro Schools, we do dual enrollment. In fact, we have an HVAC program at John Overton High School where they can get high school credit and TCAT credit at the same time. So it's already embedded in the high school, and we partner with them. They're a great partner, and we partner with them so that we can get their hours. They're already doing the work, so why not couple it with our curriculum and give them college credit as well, so that when they complete high school, our goal is to have a term out of the way. So that means they're that much closer to the finish line by the time they enter into TCAT as a post-secondary student. We also have building construction at Cane Ridge High School. We have IT programs at a few of the high schools. and are going to expand that as the time goes along. Metro's been a good partner. It's a great way, and it doesn't cost the student anything for tuition. The dual enrollment grant pays for that, and we partner with the schools to help take care of their books. So it's a no-brainer. I had a daughter, or have a daughter, and when she was that age, I looked for the word free a lot. So when you see that, and it's only a positive, there's no negative to that. And if they choose not to go TCAT after high school, then all they've gained is some skills that they can apply in their life or possibly down the road.
Man, that's really, really interesting, because in the beginning I said it's a far cry from high school. I made a lamp in high school. That's about as far as I go. But these kids can really get some training where they can transition right into a career.
Yeah, it's changed a lot from when we were in school.
Yeah.
So we're not making things in wood shop anymore. We are teaching them the skills that they could need in whatever program that it might be. And we have programs here. We also have at external counties, we have welding and collision and automotive. So things that they can all get skills in, so that they can translate that either directly to work or to continue on into TCAT. And all that does is just take time away. It just means they're that much ahead to completing.
All right. Now, Jerry, you were chosen to represent TCAT Nashville on a team for Skills USA. Tell me what Skills USA is and how did it go for you in the competition?
It wasn't great in the competition. I didn't win it, but it was a great opportunity for one, gaining experience, seeing different ways people handle situations in the field. It's plenty of ways to skin a cat. So that was in that perspective or whatever. It was great. That was Skills USA was great. And Skills USA basically is just a big competition. It's on the state level and the national level as well. You go to the state level as first. It's this year or last year it was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Went to Chattanooga. You're out there 3-4 days. And the first day is kind of like a brief overview of everything, and then the next day you're competing all day long from like 7 to like 6, 5, 6, 7 the next day. It was out there for a while. And it changes. It depends on the field that you're in or whatever the case may be. But you just go out and you compete against other people that's in trade schools or in community colleges around you in the state of Tennessee or whatever. And I mean, that's what it is, man. And then at the end of the week or however long the competition is, 3 to 4 days, it's a big old conference type deal, award ceremony, and people call people up, and they have the opportunity for the high schoolers and post secondary. So I think it was a great experience, and I encourage anybody if they have the opportunity to go do it to do it as well.
All right, talking about encouragement. There's a lot of folks out there, a lot of young people your age, Gen Zers,
yes, sir.
Trying to figure out, do they go to college? Do they go to trade school? What are they going to do with their life? Because things are only going to get more expensive. You went to college
Absolutely.
And you went to TCAT. What would you tell your peers out there? What they should know about a trade school if a trade school is right for them?
I would tell my peers to try both if you can. If you have the option to try both, or you're unsure about either one, you don't know what you want to go with, try both. The university route was a great thing for me. I was going to school originally to be an anesthesiologist. When I went there, I mean, I took all the chemistries and my biologies, whatever the case may be, and I succeeded. And when I left that semester, I had a 3.9. So I succeeded, but I know what I wanted to do something else. I wanted to work with my hands a little bit more, have a little bit more freedom. So I took a small pivot and came to TCAT. So as far as the trade school, to all my peers, take it, get in there and learn as much as you can learn. Just embrace yourself, embrace it, and just try to learn as much as you can and make the relationships, because like we've said previously, I mean, you have people that's in cosmetology, you have people that's in machine tool, you have people in welding, you have people in, auto collision. Get out and, get your break time, or if you see someone in passing, speak and make that connection, network a little bit, even at your school. And it can, and it might, and it will help you later on down the line. You might have a car that you need to put alternator or something in. You met such and such from, the workshop down there, diesel, or you got something going, you need to get your hair cut or something like that. Just make those connections. learn as much as you can learn and embrace trade school and have fun with it. Also, you gotta have fun.
I know who I'm going to call when my air conditioning goes out. Jerry
Give
Campbell
me a
is
call, man.
a co-op HVAC student in his 4th term at TCAT, and Kevin Harrison is the vice president of TCAT Nashville. Gentlemen, thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, boss. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we return, we'll meet some folks who are a part of trade apprenticeships in construction. We'll be right back. This is Nashville.
Funding for This is Nashville comes from you, our listeners, and Music City Prep Clinic, Nashville-based provider for PrEP, and offering comprehensive sexual health services in an environment designed to be safe, professional, and shame-free. Learn more at musiccityprep.org.
I'm Khalil Ekolona, and this is Nashville. Today, we're talking about pathways into trade jobs here in Middle Tennessee. Many trade unions offer apprenticeships, which provide on-the-job training and often classroom instruction to workers. Music City Construction Careers, or MC3, is a nonprofit that works to provide a pathway for more Nashvillians into trade careers. The organization offers a 3-week training course that helps participants learn more about different trade apprenticeships, then provides ongoing support and guidance during the apprenticeship application process. So here to tell us more is Sam Pechalat. He is the executive director of MC3, and Keandra Grayson, first-year sheet metal apprentice and MC3 apprentice. I imagine that's how it goes. Sam and Keandra, thank you both so much for being here. Welcome to This is Nashville.
Thanks, Khalil.
Okay, so Keandra, you're working in the sheet metal trade. What kind of work are you doing?
Right now I'm doing architectural sheet metal. We're working on a project called Peabody Union. It's like a huge project downtown. Architectural sheet metal is essentially the skin of the building. So once everything else is done, well, we work alongside all of the other trades, but once everything is done, the first thing that you see when you look at the building will be what we did.
What do you like about working in sheet metal?
At the end of each day, I feel like I have accomplished something. It's not a mundane experience going to a construction site every day, because every day there's a different task and you can actually see your work.
You stepped into this work in your 30s. And after attending MC3 training, what kind of work were you doing before?
Prior to the MC3 program, I was working as a hotel night manager. It was really boring.
I imagine. Yeah. We got to do what we got to do to pay the bills. But that's a stark contrast of working night shifts at a hotel face to face with people, rather than, I can imagine, you're hanging off of the side of the building and molding sheet metal to make the skin of this building. When you first got into it, what was your mind doing with that shift, that dynamic?
Well, I like working with my hands anyway, so it worked out in that aspect. But the first thing that they said to me when they called for the job was, we're doing something that's different. First thing I need to know is, are you afraid of heights? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll find out. And I'm not. I think it's pretty cool.
That sounds really cool. Okay, Sam, MC3 provides these 3-week training programs a couple of times a year. Tell me more about what you all offer.
Thanks, Khalil. So our program, it runs usually 3 times a year, our community program. We also have a presence at Maplewood High School and a program there each year. The goal of our program is for someone from any background, and I mean that quite literally, to be able to enter our program on day one, not knowing how to be successful in a union apprenticeship program and in the construction industry. And our goal is for anyone to be able to leave our class after 3 weeks knowing how to succeed in the construction industry and with the support that they need to gain entry and thrive within a union apprenticeship program.
Why was there a need for this program, this kind of program?
So what we were finding was a twofold problem. We had people in our communities that were struggling to find good jobs in a rapidly growing and, to be candid, a rapidly gentrifying city where the cost of living is expanding significantly. So we had people in our communities that needed good union jobs that they could support a family on. Simultaneously, we had a construction industry that is facing what is being called the trades gap. If you watch college football, you'll see commercials that use that phrase these days. It's a widely acknowledged problem that there's a skills gap, and the industry has not been able to find enough individuals who are ready to succeed on their first day. And so we kind of have a two-pronged approach to bring skills to individuals in order for them to jump in and be successful, and then take those folks and provide an industry with the skilled talent that it needs.
All right. Now, Keandra, you're working, night managing. How'd you find out about MC3?
My dad saw a flyer, and he's always rooting for me to do the best. And he saw the flyer and felt like it would be a great opportunity, and he was right.
Okay, so describe the application process for us. What was it like?
The application was one of those SurveyMonkey applications where it just asked a few different questions. It wasn't a strenuous task or anything of that matter.
So what happened next after that?
Not soon after I did the application, Sam contacted me and they interviewed me. We did a group interview via Zoom, and the class started about a week after.
Okay. Now, Sam, I imagine you're going to say everybody when I ask you this, but who is MC3 trying to reach?
MC3 is trying to reach folks that feel stuck, whether you're stuck in unemployment, whether you're stuck in underemployment, whether you're stuck in full-time employment that is not meeting your needs, where you're not making a wage that you need to survive, where you don't have health insurance and a retirement plan, a pension. Those are things that you're going to get in a union career that we're going to connect you with.
Now, it's a full-time program, right?
It is a full-time 3-week program.
Now, participants, do they receive a stipend?
They do. So this is a paid training program, and currently every graduate receives a stipend for $600.
That's not bad.
It's not a full-time income, and we acknowledge that, but it's just something to make this more possible for people that don't have the ability to fully go 3 weeks with zero income.
Now, I understand that MC3 offers support to apply to different apprenticeships. How many apprenticeships do most folks apply to?
We typically encourage people to apply to about 2 to 3 of their top choice apprentices or apprenticeships. But the way our system works is also kind of, I'll use the term two-pronged thing again, where we have our graduates apply to their top 2 or 3 choices, but they're also going to enter our placement portal. And so anyone that has graduated from our program, from the day they finish our program until the day they enter full-time employment, they are going to get regular communications from us informing them of any immediate workforce needs in the union trades. So they can make their decision based on their dream career. But if it happens to be, it's a little unpredictable how fast each given apprenticeship program can put people to work at various cycles throughout the year. And so if getting to work ASAP is a priority for you, we can also help you make that happen.
What are some of the more popular apprenticeship programs?
Well, I'll be a little bit scientific here. We call it our scoreboard of where our graduates are going with our different union trades. And so currently we've placed the most people with the IBEW Local 429. That's the electricians apprenticeship program. Second is the sheet metal workers, which Keandra is a part of. And then third, we've got our laborers union. And fourth, we've got our plumbers and pipe fitters union.
All right. If you're just tuning in, this is Nashville, and I'm your host, Khalil Colonna. We're talking this hour about trade apprenticeships with Sam Petchalot and Keandra Grayson. Both are with Music City Construction Careers. Okay, so Keandra, once you decided you wanted to work in sheet metal, what happened next as far as your apprenticeship?
Well, when you join the union, they put you on the books, so you're already on the books, set, ready for a job. I waited for about a week for them to contact me and immediately got to work.
Did you know what to bring on the first day? Tell me describe the first day of being on the job. What was that like?
The first day was mainly just orientation and them showing you what it is that you'll be doing. And when you go into your apprenticeship, they give you a list of tools that you'll need, but sometimes you really don't need them, not as a first-year apprentice.
Okay.
As a first year, you're doing pretty much labor because you don't know anything. But it's fulfilling.
How long is the apprenticeship?
The apprenticeship is 4 years. We go to, as a first year, I go to class one night a week during the regular school year. Summers are out mainly because most work that we do is during the summertime because the weather allows you to work. And I'll be doing that for 4 years.
This is a type of gig career where you can go anywhere and do this work. So if the summertime are active here, you can decide, hey, I'll go to another part of the country or the world to work, right?
Being in an apprenticeship, you can't really move around that much because you have to go to class.
Okay.
And your class will be here, local at your union hall. So we don't really travel as apprentices.
That's really cool. Now, for others who are out there and really haven't worked in a trade, especially for women, what do you want them to know about what it's like and what it takes to do this work?
It's not too hard for a woman to do. Again, I say this over and over. It's very fulfilling. At the end of each day, at the end of each job, you actually feel like you've done something. You can sit and physically see the work that you have done. It's not an end-all, be-all. The opportunities are limitless, and I think anybody that's willing to do it should go for it.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of hard work and desire, right?
It's a little hard work, but I feel like I get paid to work out, so it's not so bad.
There you go. Now, you have kids, right?
I do.
What do they think about the work that you're doing?
My oldest is proud of me. He has essentially grown up with me, so he's seen it all, and that makes me smile.
Now, Sam, speaking of kids, I understand MC3 has a partnership with Maplewood High School, and you're working for more partnerships. What do those partnerships mean for students out here?
Essentially, those partnerships enable us to bring the exact same training, the exact same curriculum, and the exact same certification, and the exact same apprenticeship placement support to young people that are graduating seniors. We've been working with our partners at Stand Up Nashville in order to build our presence in the schools. We also work with the Gear Up program in Maplewood High School. We're in our second year there, and we had about 20 last year and about 23 this year.
Okay.
That are going to receive the exact same training, and we are going to work to help them get placed into union apprenticeship programs as soon as they finish graduation.
Let me ask you this, Keandra. What's the most challenging part about the job right now?
Waking up at 3:30 in the morning. That's it. Getting up, it's not as hard as I thought it would be because it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. So I'm used to it at this point. Even on days where I don't work, I'm still up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But that's the hardest part of my day because I know to expect the hard work when I get to work. So it's not as much of a challenge as you think.
What do you love the most about it?
The different types of people you come across. In the program, there was a bunch of different people from different backgrounds, and then when you get to the job site, you'll run into people that have master's degrees. You'll run into somebody that has never done any type of work whatsoever. So you have a diaspora of all different types of people that you'll run into.
Has the income boost made a difference?
Absolutely. Now I can tell my kids no because I want to, not because I have to.
You sound like my mom. That's fantastic. All right, so Sam, I understand that MC3 recently launched its last class for this year. When do classes run normally?
We typically do a spring class, a summer class, and a fall class. Our next class is tentatively scheduled for March of next year, and tentatively we are looking at June and September for our next classes next year.
What's the next step in someone who's out there listening who may want to jump in and be a part of this program?
The first step would be to decide that you are ready for more than a job and for a career that's going to invest in you and have your back with union representation. If that is something that you want, then you can go to musiccitymc3.org and submit an application. The sooner the better. We do consider first come, first serve is a factor if our seats fill up for our classes, but just go to musiccitymc3.org and submit an online application.
Okay, we're going to have a link to that on our web post. Let me ask you this, Sam. What else are you doing? I understand you just explained what you all are doing to draw high school kids and young people in there. But as you both said, this is something that people can get into at any age. What are you all doing to let other Nashvillians, older Nashvillians and Middle Tennesseans know that you all exist and you have these services there for them?
Absolutely. So a big reason for this program's success is that it is born out of our local construction trade unions and our local labor movement with the Central Labor Council. And it's also born out of our communities. So like I said, one of our biggest partners is Stand Up Nashville. The Central Labor Council as well is sort of at the forefront of sort of a hybrid model of community and labor engagement. And that is a fancy way of saying that we are at job fairs, we are at churches, we are at schools. When we get an email inviting us to come out to an event that the people are going to be at, we will be there, we will be excited, and we will be trying to bring people into our union building trades movement.
You broke down the mission of MC3 and what you all are doing, but then you added the caveat talking about how gentrification is changing the face of this city. Why? What brings you the passion of doing this work?
I am always upfront with people that I don't come from the trades myself. I have a nonprofit management background. And for myself, being someone who just wanted to have a positive impact, I started working in the nonprofit world and quickly realized that charity has its place, but solidarity between working people is what is really going to deliver the goods to what people need. And so that's how I ended up working in the labor movement and being a part of this awesome program.
All right. And you know, Keandra, I'm going to finish with you. Anybody who's questioning, I need a change, what's your advice to them?
Go for it. Absolutely, positively go for it. Don't hesitate. Just do it.
Keandra Grayson is a graduate of MC3, and she's a first-year sheet metal apprentice, and Sam Petchalot is the executive director at Music City Construction Careers. Again, thank you both for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Khalil.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take one last break. When we come back, we'll crack the code with two graduates from the Nashville Software School and learn about career opportunities in the digital age. You can always join the conversation by tweeting us at This Is Nashville. We'll be right back. I'm Khalil Ekolona, and this is Nashville. Today we're talking about new ways to find a new career in the trades right here in Middle Tennessee. Now we're going to turn our attention to somewhat newer trade school, a coding boot camp. Jobs in tech seem to always be in demand, and four-year degrees are not always necessary to step into the field. The nonprofit Nashville Software School is dedicated to increasing the local talent pool for software development jobs, and the school provides full-time and part-time programs that focus on giving students hands-on learning and helps with job placement. Now, joining us to tell us what it's really like to go through a coding boot camp with NSS are Sharnessa McKinney, who did a part-time web development program over a year, and Sarah Saturday, who completed a full-time 6-month program. Sharnessa is currently a software developer at TDOT, and Sarah, an application engineer at HCA. I want to thank you both for being here. Welcome to This Is Nashville.
Thank you.
Okay, you ended up at the Nashville Software School. Tell me what you were doing before. Sarah, you first.
Oh, boy. Well, my life is a very curvy line. And so before I went to Nashville Software School, I was already working at HCA and the administrative side. I'm also a musician, performance artist in town, and I had spent a lot of years on the road and working in the music industry and performing and touring, and I was still doing that while also working this full-time job at HCA. And I was just looking for the next step in my career and how I could continue to support my art with my day job. Mm-hmm. And the role I was in, it was great, but I kind of, it was going in a direction that I just didn't know if it was good for me and if I wanted to keep pursuing that. So I had so many friends that had done NSS and just loved it. And I was like, well, let's try it. So I left for 6 months to do that full time. And then luckily they took me back.
Good thing they did. All right, Sharnessa, how'd you find Nashville Software School?
I work with developers that have graduated from NSS, and they just kept encouraging me to go back. I was a quality analyst, and I kind of hit the ceiling. and I had nowhere to go. I was terrified of code, terrified. And they said, you should try Nashville Software School. So I decided just to rip the Band-Aid off, and I put in my application.
Now, you're terrified of code, but I understand you have a degree in computer science from the University of Memphis.
Yes. That's because that was theory.
Okay.
So if you give me 1 through 10 and tell me to memorize this, and then we're going to test on it, that's great. NSS, they are hands-on. My first day, we introduced ourselves, and it was coding time.
So
Yes.
there's a little orientation. This is my name. Now start punching these keys.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I got a friend who's in the IT, and when they talk, it's definitely some form of rocket science, it feels like to me. Can you both tell me the difference between front-end development and back-end development?
I'll take a stab at it. Okay. The front end is really the part of the site or the application that you see and interact with. So it's everything on the screen when you go to the site, and it's the code that builds all of that, and it's the design that makes all of that appear. Back end is the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, all of the piping and the infrastructure that you don't ever see on the site, but it makes everything work, and it's the database, and it's the wizard behind the curtain.
Okay. Now, did they teach you that, like that first day, Sharnessa, when you're there? Are they teaching you, hey, this is front end and back end, this is where you'll be doing the majority of your work?
Absolutely. You start out in the front end, and then they're going to introduce the back end. And I kind of look at it from the point of building a house. To build a house, you have to have like the wood. You don't have any siding. You just have the foundation. The concrete is poured. That's the back end. But when you start adding siding and grass and windows and doors, that's the front end.
Okay. All right. So I want to talk about the program, like day one at Coding Boot Camp. You show up, you're ready to go. Look, both of you. So it's that intense.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it like for you the first day, Sarah?
Okay, so I went into it. I've always been a techie person. I'm a multimedia artist. I use software, I use hardware, I use a lot of computer stuff in my life. And I was very I like to brag about the fact that I knew a little HTML. Now I'm like, oh, sweetie. I went in that first day kind of being like, oh, this should be fun. This should be interesting. I mean, by the end of the day, I was covered in sweat. I was like, what did I just do? It is, they really throw you in, which is the way to learn. I mean, that's the way to do it. Yeah. It's the only way to do code, honestly.
Did you have a similar question to yourself, Sharnessa?
Yes, especially when I saw my class. My son was older. My son is older than some of the kids that were in there. And I was kind of intimidated. They're young. You have all walks of life. So it was a little bit scary.
What does it really take to get through this program? It's very intense. You're learning, I imagine, not just one language, but several of them. What do students need to know or have within them to be successful? I'd love to hear from both of you on that.
My first thing is, I don't know if people pray, but that's number one. You need Jesus. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, you have to have the determination. It is going to push you to your very edge, and you're going to want to quit. But you have to want to bet on yourself. You have to. You have to give your all, and then give more than that.
Okay, Sarah?
Yeah, I think, and I think we're kind of in similar boats. That I was 42 when I went, and I started, and coming back into such an intense learning situation, especially with a language like that at that age and at that stage in life, was like, and there's like 19-year-olds in there. That I'm just like, whoa, my brain really had to like crack open. I just think that it takes a growth mindset, and just like, I'm gonna stay open-minded here and just continue to persist through the pain. And just trust that like I'm learning something, even though it doesn't feel like I'm learning anything, like through osmosis or something, it's getting in there, and I've got to try. And for me, my reason for going was so strong, and I really knew why I wanted to go, and that really helped to keep me going. because it is no joke.
If you're just tuning in, this is Nashville, and I'm your host, Khalil Ekolona. We're talking this hour about the Nashville Software School with Sarah Saturday and Sharnissa McKinney. Okay, so I imagine you both thought about quitting. How many times?
Every day.
Okay.
Every day. It is a pain. It's hard, but if I had to do it again, I would do it all over again.
Okay. Yeah, I do want listeners to understand, yes, they're talking about how hard it is, but they're doing it with smiles on their
We're
faces.
laughing. Yes.
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 And that's the best kind of pain, right?
It is.
Okay, but, when was there a moment where you felt like, oh, I've got this?
Maybe next week.
Right. We have something called capstones that comes at the end of the front end that wraps up everything you've done in the front end. Then you have capstones in the back end. It didn't click for me until I did my capstone, because you have to just kind of trust the process versus what you learn in traditional school. We're going to give you the definitions and you're going to do that. And it just came together. I didn't realize I knew it was everything together. It was amazing.
Having had that experience, two different ways of being educated on a topic, which one do you like better?
I like the NSS.
Okay.
Traditional school, it was a lot of books and I owe a lot of money. But I came out not really even knowing what computer engineering is. Like, I see this on paper. Where do I go? What job do I get? At NSS, I immediately knew where I was going and what I was going to do.
You both are on the other side of this training. What's the biggest difference in your life because you did this, Sarah?
I think honestly, the biggest difference for me is that it really forced me into a place of learning, constantly learning. I think I didn't realize how fixed my mind was before. I'm just like, I know how to do these things and these are the jobs I'm going to go after and these are the things I'm going to do. And this really it's put me in this place of, especially from the perspective of making art, it really has put me in a place of like extreme creativity, because my brain is just like, okay, we don't know the answers. That's okay. Like, let's just keep trying. Let's keep looking for the solution, or, anything is possible. So it just in my life, it's kept me, because I went straight from school to my job. So I've just been learning and learning and learning and continuously learning. I feel like I'm always going to be learning now.
And it's a big time commitment you have to put yourself under to do this program, right?
Yes.
And Sharnissa, you did the full time. We were working full time, I'm sorry. And you're married, you got a family, and it's an intense program. How much time did you have to dedicate to this coursework?
All of my days. I would take off Sunday. You're going to be with your group. You're always going to be working on trying to make it better. The family just have to understand. I asked them not to get married or die until after my year was up.
Okay. What was the 6-month program like, Sarah?
6 months is... I felt really lucky that I could do that, and NSS is very supportive of trying to help it make it possible for anybody who wants to go. It was 9 to 4 every single day, Monday through Friday on Zoom, all day long, which blows people's minds. But to me, I'm like, that was fine. It was actually really good because it did really set me up for what my work day was going to be like. It mimicked a regular work week in the field, and so it helped prepare me in that way too. Just the way of working with being online all day.
All right.
Yeah.
You got people listening. Someone may say, you know what? Nashville Software School may be for me. This career path may be for me. So they got about a minute and a half left. What would each of you tell someone who's interested about what it's like to be in coding camp, and if they really know they got the stuff for it? Sharnissa?
I would say, number one, invest in yourself. You will have to invest in yourself, and you have to commit to it. We're saying it's painful, but it is awesome when you get to this side and realize you have this confidence and you can absolutely do it. So I know NSS also offers a 3-week course, and it kind of introduces you into what you can potentially want to go in. I would suggest they take that first and then see from there if they want to commit to 6 months or a year.
All right.
That's good. That's good advice.
Sarah?
I would say really know what your reason is for going. I think it's like, oh yeah, I'll just learn how to code, but you really have to enjoy puzzles, and you have to enjoy, thinking through things logically, and you have to learn how to be okay with making mistakes and failing miserably and still picking yourself back up. But that challenge, I mean, it really has expanded my horizons in many ways. And again, my purpose was really to find new ways to support the lifestyle that I want to have, and it's doing that now.
You both are incredibly motivational. I really appreciate
Thank
you both
you.
for coming on and encouraging everyone, including me, to take on challenges. Sharnessa McKinney is a software developer at TDOT, and Sarah Saturday is an application engineer at HCA's Healthcare Information Technology Group. They're both graduates of Nashville Software School. Thank you both so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And thanks to you for tuning in this hour. This is Nashville is a production of Nashville Public Radio. Today's episode was produced by Katherine Ceicys. It was directed by Tasha A.F. Lemley. Our technical director and board operator is Liv Lombardi. The masterminds behind our theme music are Larange and Namir Blade. You can listen back at thisisnashville.org or wherever you get good podcasts. And the conversation doesn't end here. Tweet us at This Is Nashville. Find us on Instagram and tell us what you want from our show by filling out our quick survey online. You can also call to leave us a message, 615-751-2500, but we may use that message on air at some point. This is Nashville. I'm Khalil Ekalona. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody, and be good to each other.